Hey guys, what's up? So, it's time for a review. But not just any review, my 300th review. I've been at reviewing for almost 2 years now, and I'm already at 300 reviews. This is absolutely fantastic. Now, I celebrated my first 50 reviews. I celebrated my first 100. I celebrated my first, I don't know if I celebrated 250, but I definitely celebrated 200. And I think I celebrated 250. So it's time for me to celebrate my 300th with a slasher film, with a sports-themed slasher film, and no, it is not Gutterballs, sadly. A sports-themed slasher film from 1998, and tonight's movie is The Catcher. I've got this movie at FYE for $2. This movie trends on Amazon, new, for about 30 bucks. So let's see if I made the right choice in purchasing this. Really, the only reason I purchased it is because I went there a month before I bought this last weekend, and I saw it there, and I'm like, you know what, if I come back and it's still there, I'll buy it. And I bought it for $2. Now, the only real thing I know about this movie is that it's apparently a pretty bad movie. It's from 1998. It's a horror film, it's baseball themed, and it has to do with this guy who murdered his father like 17 years ago with a baseball bat on a baseball field, and then he returns to the baseball field, and his father's ghost possesses him and makes him commit murders. So this is a demonic possession, baseball themed slasher film from the late 90s. This could either go horribly right or horribly wrong. Let's just watch, shall we? Okay, so after going on the Catcher DVD and looking at the absolutely horrendous menu, I looked at other movies released by the company that put this out. The company is called Dead Alive Productions. That sounds eerily familiar. I don't know where I've heard that name before, but I've definitely heard it. And after going on to their DVD menu and looking at other movies released by them, I saw that they released Meet the Feebles. Apparently, they are the ones that have done the most recent release of Meet the Feebles, which is very, very old. I think the movie needs a new DVD release. But I absolutely loved Meet the Feebles, and the fact that they probably named their company after Dead Alive, I'm not saying they did, I'm just assuming that. The fact that they did that, I'd like to think maybe they have a bit of taste. So, since I liked both Dead Alive and Meet the Feebles and Bad Taste, I hope this will be good. Okay, now we can get to it. God. So the movie opens with credits, and then once the credits end, it's 1981, and it's, California, we're in Taft, California, and it's the typical kind of 2.5 kids, white picket fence family, except the father has a very short temper, and he wants his son to be good at baseball. The kid's playing baseball with his dad, and obviously this kid is the kid who's gonna kill his father with a baseball bat and become the killer in the movie. So, then he's at a baseball field with his mom and dad, and his mom leaves, and his dad's like really sexist and stuff. He tells the mother like, "Oh, you wouldn't know anything about this. You're a woman." And I'm just like, that's pretty fucking sexist. So he just keeps like threatening to beat his own child in public, I might add. Anyway, he throws the ball at the kid, and and you can see by how like he throws it, he didn't throw it that hard, and you can see that it didn't hit the kid that hard. Yet the kid it like flinches really hard. He's like, oh, like he got hit by a ball going like 95 miles per hour, and it obviously wasn't. So at this point, the guy, he's about to kill his father, and the dad in this movie is overacting. His overacting in this movie is absolutely fucking hilarious, along with the really bad gore effects that come along with him beating his father to death with a baseball bat. So then we skip ahead to present day, which I kind of hate it when movies do that. They're like present day, like they treat, they just go like present day. Like, people are going to be watching, people might be watching this. Just because this movie faded into obscurity doesn't mean, someone in 2015 wasn't going to be watching it. Okay? I think that's all I really gotta say. So, and we got this guy and he's showering in slow motion. In fucking slow motion, yes. And this guy is on this baseball team, and they've had a bad streak recently, and they hired this chick to help make the baseball team better, and she's not doing a good job of it. He loses his job. He basically gets taken off the team, and, yada, yada, yada. It turns out that this guy may or may not be the killer. May or may not be Johnny McIntosh, the kid that was sent away to an asylum 17 years before that. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I really hate to compare this movie to Gutterballs, because it's kind of similar to Gutterballs. First of all, they're both sports-themed slasher films. One of them is a sport I don't like, the other one is a sport that I actually like to participate in every once in a while. And both films are slasher films, both of them are low budget, both of them are independent. And the characters, acting, and writing are all completely horrible, but still funny. Also, in both of these films, someone is raped with an object used in the game. Yes, you guys know I've talked about this one. It's a bowling pin in Gutterballs. In The Catcher, a guy is sodomized with a baseball bat, and you think this guy is just like getting fucked in the ass by another guy until you see the guy who you thought was like fucking him walk away and then drop a baseball bat, and you see it's got blood on it, and then you're like, oh, he was sodomizing him with a baseball bat. And that's kind of painful, and I'll be honest, I did not expect it from some really bad low budget like straight to video horror film, but maybe that did inspire the scene in Gutterballs. I doubt it. But unlike Gutterballs, it's not funny, it's not intentionally funny, it's not, badly acted to where it's funny, it's not written to where it's at least a little bit humorous. The death scenes in this movie, while they're a bit ridiculous, they aren't super ridiculous or creative as in Gutterballs. The movie takes itself way too seriously, trying to play everything off like, it feels like the movie's acting like it's the next Halloween, when it definitely isn't. It was probably doomed to fall into obscurity from the very beginning. And how I know it's fallen into obscurity is because it only has 137 ratings on IMDb and only a total of 10 reviews. That includes both critic and user reviews on IMDb. So this movie has definitely really fallen into obscurity. I'm surprised that a DVD of this movie actually exists, because that would mean there was some kind of demand for a DVD of this movie. Let's see, it's not as sexually explicit as Gutterballs. It doesn't have any nudity in it, so it doesn't have any explicit gore or violence. The effects in this movie are pretty bad, while the effects in Gutterballs are actually pretty good. it's really just not good in all the ways that Gutterballs is. Although, I mean, there is one kill that I would say is probably the funniest thing in probably the entire movie, is when the killer knocks this guy out with a baseball bat, then ties him down in front of first base, and the guy is like imagining that he's actually playing a game of baseball, and he's going around and he slides to first base and kicks the guy in the face, like as he's sliding. But the ridiculous part about this is the fact that he dies from that, A, and B, the fact that when he does get hit, it's not just like he doesn't just like get hit and, you know, bleed a little bit. Like, literally, once you see him again, it looks like half of his entire face is gone. It's extremely ridiculous, and you expect it to take, and they expect you to take this seriously. The music and the sound mix for this movie are really kind of decent. The transfer for this movie, like the video quality, really is probably one of the better, like, VHS quality. Like, I could tell this was transferred to DVD from a VHS, but it's not horrible quality. It's actually one of the better. It's probably one of the best quality, like, VHS transfers I've probably ever seen. The lighting in this movie is average. Same with the camera work. It's average and pretty bland. Really, the only problem I had with this movie, other than the uninteresting characters, the boring scenes, the fact that they expect you to take it seriously, it's also the fact that I stated quite earlier, that in this movie it seems like they want you to take this movie as seriously as, like, Dario Argento's as like fucking opera, or as Halloween, or, you know, any other very popular slasher film that is a serious slasher film, when it's a movie with this premise and it's a demonic possession baseball slasher film. And the fact that it's called The Catcher and it has cover art like this, I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that a good percentage of them realized this was doomed to fall into obscurity the moment it was released. On the gore meter, from 1 to 10, 1 being something like The Corpse Grinders and 10 being something like Brain Dead, The Catcher is probably about a 3. There's no real gore here. It's just a bit of blood every now and then. I mean, towards the end, it does get a little violent. Really, and I mean, the gore effects really aren't that good anyway. Honestly, if I had to give this movie even a semi-positive rating, I'd at least have to give it a 2, maybe a 2.5 out of 5. It's really, really not worth watching. I mean, if you guys want to go out and buy this off Amazon for $30, you can go ahead and do that. And just because I spent $2 on this and I didn't think it was that good doesn't mean I'm going to sell it, because the fact that this is worth about $30 and I got it for $2, I'm going to hold on to this just to say I can have this movie. Just so I can say I own a movie that is a demonic possession baseball slasher film. Anyway, guys, I'm BiscuitBoo69, celebrating 300 reviews. I would like to thank everybody who's subscribed to me, who has watched my videos, all that. You guys are awesome. And please share, like the video, do what you want. And the links to the Facebook page, Tumblr, Twitter, all that are in the description below, along with Rotten Cotton t-shirts, where I get my horror film t-shirts. Not this exact Frog Brothers t-shirt, but you know, cool exploitation film and horror film t-shirts. I get them all off there. And check out my friend Chloe, her cosplay and makeup tutorial channel. She always does something cool. She's been doing a few recent videos that are pretty good. Check them out, guys. I'm signing off. Peace.